Good evening, world. Welcome to Calculated Drivel, the final frontier.
No, the freedom frontier.
No, the freedom frontier. Final frontier is a bit seriously morbid. The freedom frontier.
Final.
We can edit that. Out.
I like it.
How are you, Matt?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm hanging on in there. I left the house today, so that's a step forward.
Where did you go?
How about you? We went to the park.
Okay.
Went to the park, had a walk around. To mix it up a bit, we took a tennis ball with us, and I was basically Becca's dog, and she'd throw the ball and I'd run after it.
How did you get on? Were you quick?
I was competent. Yeah, I got it every time.
You managed to retrieve the ball each time.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had a similar scenario, Carla and I, but I wasn't being the dog. There was an actual dog in the park, and Carla was trying to do this trick on the skateboard, and she'd taken her gloves off and put them on the floor, and this dog ran past and grabbed the glove and ran off. And then it created this weird dynamic with the owner, because the owner was trying to run after this dog and get the glove off the dog, but he also was wary of the glove, with the current climate. Yeah. So
that's great. What happened? Did he get the dog to give it back?
Well, the dog wouldn't drop it. The dog was having a great time. The dog was just running around with this glove. And then eventually he sort of grabbed it out of the dog's mouth, but you could tell that he wasn't sure about holding the glove,
Yeah.
so he just sort of passed it across to Carla, and she kind of grabbed it, and then we got back.
Then he touched it now as well, so it's then Carla's also getting the germs.
Yeah, so we came back and we just had to sort of we sprayed the gloves down and burnt the gloves sort of.
After spraying them?
Yeah, cleaned them and then burnt them afterwards.
Did she land the trick?
Yeah, she did. She did, luckily, so
okay.
we can take a positive from that. Yeah, the suspense is killing me. What could you give me a sneak preview of?
Some of it's related to Wildcat.
Wildcats. So when did you start watching the?
We only started 2 days ago, or sometime this week anyway.
Yeah.
I watched two episodes yesterday.
You watch porn? He says, yeah. I said, well, do you enjoy the guy with the little one doing it, or do you enjoy watching the guy with the big one doing it? And he says, well, obviously you want to watch the guy with the big one.
And one episode, yeah. It's just so, I can't believe it. There's so many stories, they're all mental, but in their own way.
And so how's the work going from home? How's all that?
Alright, but it's quite difficult. I find myself, I think the thing with working in an office is you can constantly chat to people and see what other people are doing, or just have casual conversations but about work. And without that, it's actually surprisingly difficult, with design work especially. I presented some work today, and
on Skype or something, on a conference call.
Yeah, to the whole team, and I didn't realise till afterwards that that's literally the first time I've talked to anyone about it. I've not even had a passing conversation with anyone.
Yeah.
And I feel like having those little conversations is really beneficial, because you're at least just talking out loud about what you're thinking, gets things in. I don't know, it helps you think about the design, if you know what I mean.
Gives you a bit of a dialogue which you can then go back and forth, and
just having to explain something helps you figure out the idea a bit better.
It's always so open anyway with design. It's difficult even when you have conversation options to make choices on where you're going with an idea. definitely.
They set up a call today, so I don't know if are you using like these conference calling app things.
Oh, I've got a story actually about one of those my first Zoom experience.
Oh, yeah.
Are you using Zoom or what's your?
Yeah, we just started using that. It's good. I like that you can change your background.
Oh, wait, where did you locate yourself? You put yourself in the sea or something? Or what was
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yeah, the Golden Gate Bridge.
Golden Gate. Were you presenting your design with this Golden Gate?
I use that for the serious meetings.
Right.
And then for more casual meetings, I'll be on the beach.
On the beach, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I like the idea of you coordinating with the bridge, like with a red top on or something.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, today they set up a call that was like, I don't know if anyone's actually used it yet, but you know on Zoom you can just like join a call whenever you have to actually call someone. They set up a call called Water Cooler today that you can just like dial into if you want to chat to someone. It's like as if you're going to make a cup of tea at work and like bump into someone.
Do you have a water cooler at work? I know that's a personal question, by the way. You don't have to answer that if you're not willing.
It's not your traditional one, but we do have a cool water cooling device.
Right. That's quite a good idea actually. I could maybe sort of put that forward as an option.
But the thing is, at work, if you went to make a cup of tea and the person in the kitchen was someone that you don't really talk to,
or like,
you just say hi and not really say anything.
Yeah.
Whereas if you like join a call and the only person there is someone that you don't really like, you'd be like, oh, see ya.
But it would be better if they like you, but so you're not a fan of them, but they're really happy to hear you on the other side, and then you can't just go, oh yeah, I've got to go. Yeah.
Oh, I've just got to get back to the thing. It's like, no, you don't. You just join.
You're in your lounge. We had a lunchtime CPD on acoustics, on acoustic insulation and stuff like that.
What does CPD stand for the listener?
So CPD for the average listener out there.
I should also say, while we're just talking about the listener, we should just say that we're both recording this topless.
Yeah. So Matt texted me literally 30 seconds before we dialed in here for our first calculated drivel, the Freedom Frontier sessions, and he said, "Tops off?" ? And luckily,
I just spelled it with an A. Taps off.
He said taps off, and I said, "You're one step ahead of me." So I then took my top off, and here we are. You're going to have to visualise that.
Yeah.
So everything that we say, bear that in mind when we say whatever we're saying, because it just adds to the, I guess, the Freedom Frontier, the name.
You're taking your tops off?
Becca heard me say about taking my top off, she got worried.
I thought this was a podcast with Marc.
Sorry, carry on.
I think you have to carry on. You were telling me about a video call, or was it me?
No, telling me about CPD.
Oh yeah, CPD. So everyone listening, CPD stands for Continued Professional Dynamics. Or Matt, what would you? It's development, right? I want to. Is it development?
It is development. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I was hoping I was leading you down a path to create a silly version of the acronym.
Well, lead me back down. Let's go again. Action, take 2.
Can you tell me what CPD stands for?
CPD stands for Coordinated.
Right.
Palpable.
Yep.
Decisions.
Yeah, I mean,
A coordinated decision.
It's not that much funnier than continue professional development.
It's quite a partridgey sort of. No, but then what does the palpable bit mean? Like, if you had to. I mean, your turn. Okay, what would you call what would you say CPD stands for?
The C stands for crumpet.
Crumpet.
Danger. Production.
You put the danger second, so you change the order. That's CDP.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh. Okay, I'm out.
You're out. Okay, fair enough, guys. It stands for continued professional development. So our one was on acoustic insulation, and we couldn't hear the guy for the start of it, which was quite amusing. Because I guess it works for a good company.
Oh,
so
it's remote, of course.
it was remote, and then partway through.
Wait, what was it about acoustic insulation?
Acoustic insulation in buildings.
That applies to Henry, and the reason you can't hear me is because the insulation's so great in
Yeah,
here.
our product's so damn good. But he was talking. We had about 12 of us on the Zoom, and I had some Bluetooth headphones in, which was linked with my with the phone, and there was a piping hot chicken lasagna that had just come out of the oven.
Chicken lasagna?
Yeah, I know. I've never heard of them before, but there's this place called Cook nearby, which you can buy the sort of gourmet oven meals. And we've bought 2 of those chicken lasagnas in 2 weeks. Have you ever had a chicken lasagna?
I'd never heard of it.
It was surprisingly very good, but...
What's a lasagna?
What's a lasagna? Lasagna is hot sheets of Italian pasta with layers of sort of cleverly spiced tomato sauce and hot cheese, hot melted cheese, I'd say.
Yeah.
Would that be... Does that sound...
This is a great new feature. Describing everyday things.
yeah. Well, what's that? What can we call that? Because I was one of the questions I had for you today on the topic of food was which seasonings or which spices in your cupboard, or in anyone's cupboard for that matter, do you think are the most underrated spices, and why? And which spices do you think are the most overrated spices, and why? Just make it really short and boom, this and boom,
Underrated.
Yeah.
Mustard seeds. Overrated. Turmeric.
I'll join you on that. People always say to me, it's an anti-inflammatory, but
I'm not inflamed.
I'm not inflamed. Exactly. But yeah, back onto the CPD. Sorry, we digress. I was on this Skype call, this CPD Zoom call, and then with my Bluetooth headphones linked up to my phone, and then I knew that this piping hot chicken lasagna was ready pretty much, and I was starving. So I said,
it was in the oven.
No, it was pretty much out of the oven because my CPD started at 1:00, and we put the lasagna in at about 12. So it was done. I was starving. So because it's the first time using Zoom, I made sure I sort of didn't turn my camera on, so I was just the guy without the camera on.
Don't get me started on that again.
That guy. And I had the Bluetooth headphones in, but I muted the audio. And then when Carla came in, I said, is the chicken lasagna ready? And I said, oh, don't worry, it's I've muted my audio. And then as I said it, I thought, why can I hear like an echo of that? And it had come through I then got a message from my boss just saying, Marc, it's not muted at all. The way I said, don't worry, like, it's all muted.
Yeah.
So that's the world we live in, though. I'm not used to this. Is all new. This is the new frontier.
That could have been so much worse.
A lot worse. A lot worse.
Yeah, it's just some boring shit.
So, Matt, you ready for your first question of the day?
Yeah.
Do you use cumin much?
Cumin seeds, I've been known to use.
What is it, you and seeds? I'm not talking about seeds. I'm talking about those little glass jars with the finely ground spice. Do they do seeds version of those?
I mean, what do you call mustard seeds? I guess you call it mustard, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Are you getting food in, by the way? Are you trying to do some of these Tesco deliveries, or are you guys venturing out?
Everything's sold out for ages, so we're just like going for a weekly shop.
Yeah.
Did a big we live like a 45-minute walk from a Chinese supermarket. So we walked there and like got shitloads of stuff.
Dried noodles.
Yeah, like loads of instant noodles, loads of like tofu, loads of sauces and like tin shit, and like they still have all the tins and all the rice and noodles. I think people are scared to go to the Chinese supermarket.
We found the same. There's a Chinese supermarket about 20 minutes walk from here, just stocked up on. But they were you'll be annoyed about this. They were out of sumai. Completely.
Oh, for what?
Yeah.
People have been stockpiling.
Did you get any?
No, I did get some other ones.
Did you get har cow?
They did have sumai though. I didn't fancy it. I can't. Like, it's got like random miscellaneous like prawn and vegetable things.
So, your first question, Matt.
Oh yeah.
We started with spice, and now we're moving on to something a bit more interesting and a bit more topical, I'd say.
Yeah.
So, the first question is, how can kids keep their parents in check during isolation? Because people always talk about, oh God, I'm trying to deal with the kids, making them do all this Joe Wicks workout YouTube thing. Have you heard about this guy? Almond milk, frozen raspberries, and that right there is lean in 15.
I've heard of him, yeah.
Everybody's going on about him. It's just this guy who like teaches you to do some sit-ups, and literally Carla's work. It's on BBC News. It's all about this Joe Wicks guy. But let's flip things round for a sec. How can kids keep their parents in check during isolation? Because this thing goes both ways. What do you reckon? What are your initial thoughts?
Probably just like whatever the opposite, just like the complete opposite of that. So it'd be a child, a YouTube live stream of a child called Wojcik.
Right.
He gets the parents to sit in front of the TV and do tax returns.
Yeah.
And the washing.
Yeah.
In time for music.
Yeah.
and it's a child.
But it is a good video at the same time. Like if the parents follow it well, they get a lot of tax returns done and a lot of washing done. So it's the child's done their research, but it's just a nightmare for the parents to sit down and do it each time, because they're used to telling the kids to do all these PE workouts because they can't go to school.
And it sets them up for the day, and after that they feel great, and they can just have a much more productive day after.
So Wojcik, the kid, sorry.
Yeah.
He's
weirdly hench.
Right, so he's weirdly hench.
For a child.
He's about 13 years old, 14 years old.
No, young. He's like just getting to grips with speaking.
Right, just getting to grips with speaking.
I don't know how old that is.
But very good at tax return advice, so he's quite good at maths.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a mystery where he's obtained all this knowledge and what the setup is, like who's filming it and producing it.
But is it well produced? Is it very well?
Really well produced, yeah.
Right. Good.
And actually, sometimes you can see him kind of like looking off camera and kind of like giving kind of evil eyes if something's not going quite right. So I think it's clear that he's running a tight ship.
Yeah.
But it's never explained what's going on.
He's never quite satisfied, and that's why his standards are so high, almost, because he's always striving for excellence. And he's got each of his videos, 800,000 views, 700,000 views, so all quite big on the view count. I think that's quite good. It'd be funny if the parents then didn't get annoyed by it because they realised how good it was for them in terms of getting the tax returns done, getting washing done.
And then also the kids start doing it as well, because you know how the adults are doing the exercise.
As well. Doing the star jumps with the kids and stuff.
The whole family is doing the tax returns together.
Do you want to flip things around and ask me a question? Should we go one on, one off, or how do you want to?
Yeah, I got one to start, which is it's a very simple question, so I'll give you the preamble to it first.
Right, set the scene.
Do you ever listen to 5 Live in the daytime?
No, but I have listened to 5 Live sort of late afternoon, sort of when there's been a Wimbledon game on or like a big event. I've listened to.
Well, yeah, so that's not what I mean. So when there's not sport on, they just talk about current affairs and debate. Just debate constantly, all day debates.
Yeah.
And if it's a slow news day, like pre-coronavirus, there wasn't much going on.
Sure.
They just have to fill the time, because they don't play music, they just have to fill the time with discussions about anything.
Yeah.
And I was kind of getting, obviously all the coronavirus stuff's quite overwhelming at the moment. The other day I was just thinking back to this debate that they were having.
Sure.
Maybe 2 months ago. And I was simpler times. And the debate was, this was prime BBC
radio,
public
5
radio.
Live. Yeah.
They were debating whether or not you should, and this is the question I'm posing to you now, should you keep pickled onions in the fridge?
See, that is a different time, isn't it? Can you imagine if that's what we were just trying to deal with now and everyone was working from home? Just try and figure it out.
Every day the government does an announcement about it.
Yeah. How are you getting on out there, Matt? I reckon we should. It's thanks, Matt. So cuts to the next one. So pickled onions are pickled, so that alludes to them being able to last a long time without being cooled. So I'd say, are they in a jar? These are in a jar, these pickled onions. Yeah. I'd say, I think people just put things in the fridge as it just makes them sleep well at night, knowing that the eggs are in the fridge, or knowing that you feel like you're doing the right thing.
It's security.
Yeah. It's almost like it's like I could put them in behind a door, or I could put them behind a door which is, it's colder behind that door, and they should last longer, even though they're cured or they're pickled or they're...
Do you think the main reason, the first thing that someone thinks about is that they want it to be behind a door?
Well, you want them to be secure, don't you? I mean, can you imagine how unnerving... Actually, no, that wouldn't be unnerving at all. I was about to say open shelves in a kitchen with lots of ingredients in, but that would be fine, because you do have that.
It'd be like a shop.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a shop?
Yeah.
As if you haven't. and that unnerves you, then don't, because you're gonna freak out.
Well, why don't they do fridges at home with a glass front to them, like in a shop? Have you ever seen a fridge at home like that?
No, but it's a good point, because I often open the fridge and look at it.
Because every time you open the fridge and just look in it to see what's in there, you let heat out, energy bills. If you just had a glazed fridge, like they have in the supermarkets, you just look in there and go, oh, I haven't got anything, I'll just go to the shop. Rather than, So I'd say, for the pickled onions, I'd say, put them in the fridge. Why not? If you've got space. But don't prioritise them if there's a chicken.
I think it's very sensible advice.
Do you agree with that, or would you?
Well, I until a couple of days ago, I finished my last pickled onion, and it was in the fridge.
Right.
And I don't know how interesting this is, but I like a cold pickled onion. I don't know about you.
Well, because of the crunch to it, the bite. It's like if you have pickled, if you have gherkins in a jar and they're like cold still.
In the fridge. Yeah, crunchy,
fresh. Good on a hot summer's day. Give a kid a cold pickle and send him out into the sun.
In a cone.
Yeah, in a cold. Yeah, and that leads me quite smoothly on to my next question.
Wait, what flavour gherkin do you want in your cone?
So, because of the whole issue with supermarket looting and all of these sort of essential items type stuff.
Looting?
So, with the toilet roll and just that sort of general stuff. So, I've written here, running low on rations, ? What foods can be disguised as other foods to fool your kids / partner during a crisis? So the reason why I say it leads on is because you talked about putting a gherkin in an ice cream cone, sending out.
That's a bit of a stretch.
So that's a stretch in that it's not very well disguised as ice cream. But I was thinking mashed potato could be a good option. If let's say this
ice cream.
Well, this is for a kid to feel because they can't go out and go out and about. And let's say the lockdown gets more serious in the coming months as we push towards the heat of summer. And maybe the kids, I don't know, they're not that well read, and the parents just put a bit of put mashed potato into an ice cream cone. No strawberry sauce. Well, actually, maybe you could do something savoury like ketchup or something, and then go, I'll have that. Pretend you got an ice cream. Send them out into the garden with that.
Interesting. Oh, so are they aware that it's not an ice cream? Are you trying to trick them, or are you just trying to give them the experience?
You can do it by tricking them. If they fall for the trick, they've got serious issues.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was also thinking, if you're trying to recreate ice cream, maybe try yogurt before you try potatoes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Can you think of any other food that you could get under the radar as to a kid, or sort of?
Yeah, maybe if you had to recreate like sweets, like strawberry laces, could just be spaghetti that you've coloured in red.
What, with a felt tip?
Yeah, with Sharpie.
Right. Do you put something on them, like some sugar on them at least, or something?
Yeah. Sausage could be a gherkin covered in chocolate.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Because that would be a normal item to have in the house, the chocolate-covered gherkin.
You made it.
Well, have you made one before?
No, but one could make one. I tell you what, we actually did this today. We couldn't find any mince in the shop, so we cut a sausage up, and we minced our own sausage.
Did you do that thing where you sort of go, with the knife, and you kind of put your fingers and you sort of say something like, let the knife do the work, like the classic chef sort of stuff? Did you do that?
No. Just cut it like a normal person.
Probably wasn't as finely cut as minced.
You'd be surprised. It wasn't a real sausage. It was a fake sausage. We're trying to recreate fake mince with fake sausages.
We're using some like vegan sausage to make vegan.
Yeah, it's like
mince.
a corn sausage. It's just the same thing in a different shape. It's just a collection of words that I've written down. It's not really a question, so I'm going to try and form it into a question.
Right.
Whilst saying it.
Well, it doesn't have to be, you can just say it as a statement and then I can kind of just react to that, I guess.
How many wild cats do you think you could live with in your house, in your current house?
Right.
But you have to social distance, that's not a problem.
Right. Can I select the type of wild cats so I've got the least dangerous ones?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can tell you the cats I wouldn't have in here, and you have been to this flat, and it is, pretty big, but it's still a flat.
Patience.
Wouldn't have a Siberian tiger, as great as they look. Am I getting this cat as a babe, as a
Good
a
question.
baby, so I can at least get it so it knows me?
Yeah. It's friendly. It's like the cats in whatever that program. What's that documentary called?
Tiger King.
Tiger King.
And I'm standing in a cage with 5 full-grown tigers in line.
Yeah, so they're very friendly and they know you very well, but they might kill you. Anyway.
Right. How many do I need to have? Do I have to have a certain number, or just how many I can deal with having?
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I wouldn't have any form of tiger just because they're too powerful and they're too apex predator sort of thing. So I wouldn't have any tiger. Lion, I would have if I've had it from a cub, like a very, very young cub.
Yeah.
Apparently, lions. I've seen there's a lion that grew up with a sausage dog. Have you seen that one on the internet? And they're best mates.
I've turned my camera around. Oops.
Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, so I'll send you a link to it. There's a sausage dog and a lion that grew up together, and they're best mates, and they get on fine. So I just have to have it from a young age. But I think, I'd probably say it'd have to be one lion, or the other option is to get something a bit more like a bobcat or something like a small mountain lion, or a lynx. Maybe I could have 2 lynxes, either 2 lynxes or a one lion.
Are you in each other's faces all the time?
We both work in the same room. I'm facing the wall, which is a bit annoying, and so I always just sort of spin my chair around to the left and look out the window because it's quite nice looking out a window. But she doesn't really drink tea or coffee, so that kind of, for some reason, it annoys me a little bit. Like I'll offer her a tea, and I'll make
Still offer it, even though you know she really won't.
Well, today I made a point of not offering her a tea in the afternoon, because when I do make her a tea, she never drinks it. It always goes cold on the side. Don't know what your sort of tea politics are like in your flat, or how it works, or what are you guys getting through?
I recently, I'll have a coffee in the morning, and I think I've got the same coffee set up as you with a little stove top mocha pot, which I very much enjoy. Hand ground beans. I grind the beans by hand before making it. But then for the rest of the day, I'll have jasmine tea with like loose leaves of jasmine, and I'll just keep topping that up with hot water throughout the day. I reckon I'll drink like a litre of jasmine tea every day.
It's very relaxing, jasmine tea.
Yeah, maybe that's why I'm so tired. I'm actually just really relaxed.
Because I'm always having the just the classic sort of Yorkshire tea, but now come to think of it, I think I might try and get hold of some jasmine. Do you just get it from the Chinese supermarket?
Yeah, I think we got given them actually. They come in like little balls. They're called jasmine pearls.
Yeah.
And you got a bag of them. There's probably like 1,000 in a bag.
Yeah.
And every day I use 3.
Right.
And then just keep topping it up, and it lasts all day, and it's really delicious. And I can't see, even if I have it every day, I can't see the supply ever running out.
No. So you swear by the stuff?
Yeah, but I have been really tired since I started. It's only been this week that I've been like tanking it. Oh, you know what I saw a while ago? I was like walking down a side street in London.
Yeah. Like
a really narrow side street. And there's a guy wearing like really smart trousers, like jet black kind of businessman shoes, and a white shirt that was kind of unbuttoned at the top.
Yeah.
He looked very smart. Like your classic businessman attire. And he was in this side street, kind of like, he was probably about 20 metres away from me, but I could see he was going to be on my way.
Yeah.
And he was doing press-ups in this alleyway.
Right.
Yeah.
When was this? Recently?
Yeah, this was like a couple of months ago.
Right.
And then I was like, what the fuck? Is this guy like about to kill me or something? It's a weird thing to say. And then as I got closer to him, he like stopped, got up, and then like he stood up really quickly with a proper like pumped up kind of spring in his step.
Yeah.
And then went back out. There's like a big like main street next to this side street, like back alley thing.
Yeah.
And he was like one of those. It turned out he was one of those people who like collects. He tries to convince you to donate money to charity.
Right.
And he was just like getting himself really pumped up to like to get the motivation to talk to more people. It was so weird.
That would have been quite unnerving to see, actually, if you weren't prepared for that. I mean, you weren't prepared for it, were you? I guess next time you will be.
Next time, if I ever see that again, I'll be like, oh well, I know what's going on
here. Yeah. You're quite relaxed.
Here's a question for you. Do you have a go-to response to someone if they approach you on the street?
I normally try not to get roped into the conversation, but I did once because the guy I was actually sort of just got back from, where had I gone? I think I'd gone to do a survey. I've gone to do a survey of a house for work. So I was on work time. So I thought, actually, I'll get roped into this conversation for a bit. Just delayed me going back to the office by about 10 minutes or something. Yeah. But then once I got roped into it, I thought, oh God, why have I done this? Because it was like, the guy was like, who you with for your internet? I was like, don't know actually. Then sort of, he goes, well, then he started talking to me about this good internet plans and providers, and then it got to the point where he was trying to sort of I could tell he was about to try and sign me up with something, and I had to give him some details, and then I suddenly was like, I said to him, what time is it, by the way? And he was like, 11:45. I was like, oh shit. He's like, what? I was like, I'm gonna miss my train. And then sort of pointed in the direction of what I thought was the train station, but because I wasn't familiar with the area, he was like, what are you? But then I just left, but it was quite embarrassing. But I did kill some time at least. That was my one experience of that. How do you deal with them?
I kind of like, so like, Robbie, my friend from uni.
Yeah, Irish Robbie, yeah.
Yeah, he did it for a bit. And he was telling me about all the things that they aren't allowed to do. And one of the things they're not allowed to do is to like follow you down the street. Like they're not allowed to do more than, I think it's like 3 paces alongside you, just to stop them like literally pursuing people.
Yeah.
So I quite like if they say like, have you got a minute? Saying yes, but not stopping walking.
Just to test the 3-step rule.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one did get me the other day. Firstly, I was off guard because he was inside a shop. He was like inside the co-op.
So he cornered you. Did he corner you in a corner shop?
Almost, yeah. It was a small shop. He was in there. He'd caught me off guard already because I wasn't expecting him. And then he did this thing where he went like, and he like made like a, as if he had something like important to say to me. And something about that noise. Just like if someone comes up to you and makes that noise, I just like immediately stopped walking and was like, "What do you want?" And then I realized what he was doing, and I was like, "Oh." Okay. And then I just walked off again.
Which part of co-op were you in? The milk section or the dairy or?
As I was leaving, they were like in the corner, like next to the tills. But yeah, so that's like my top tip for the day. If ever you want someone to stop in their tracks, just make that noise.
What was the noise again? Yeah. No, that would work because it just sort of engages you because it's like they've got information that's relevant to you and your life.
Yeah, it's almost like accusatory as well. Like you could do that if someone had done something wrong.
Yeah. Excuse me.
When you go back into the lounge later.
Just say.
Whenever you next to your car,
yeah.
To make that noise, and I bet she'll stop what she's doing.
You test it as well with Becca and just drop me a message saying it worked or it didn't. As long as she... We're coming into the final 10 minutes of the Freedom Frontier. Did you want to say anything to the listeners? Any advice you've got for people out there during these, as everyone calls, I don't want to call it what people call it, strange times, don't want to call it that. Don't want to call it unprecedented times.
Unprecedented times.
I don't want to call it uncertain times because I don't think any times are that certain really, apart from it's certain you have to go to work every day and have a routine.
When everything goes back to normal, are you going to start calling everything precedented times?
Yeah, definitely. I think precedented times, not strange times.
Yeah, normal, I guess.
Normal times. So this one's a tricky one.
Go on.
So, what films do you feel could have suited a lockdown scenario or pandemic that didn't opt for one in their narrative, and why? What film would you like to just sort of change the plot slightly to lean it in the direction of a lockdown / pandemic, and why?
I think my instant reaction is any rom-com would be immediately a lot more interesting if they were immediately putting their lockdown together.
Yeah, that's
like the Lady and the Tramp, but they're locked down straight after that meal with the spaghetti.
Yeah.
Quarantined immediately together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's your cartoon answer. What's your real life answer one? And then I'll do the same. Do you want me to do my one and give you a bit more time?
Yeah, you go first. The only thing that came into my mind was This Is England, but...
That's because it's probably quite a recent one you watched.
Because I've just seen it, and I don't know how much better it would be with a quarantine narrative.
With a lockdown. I think... any film that involves people preparing for a long time for like a really important event, and then because everyone's locked down, they're then just sort of really like I don't know, if we're doing a cartoon one, I'd go for Mulan, but with a lockdown, because you know that scene, I don't know if you remember Mulan. You remember Mulan?
Not overly.
You know when they're doing all the training to defeat the Huns, they're sort of doing all this training in the camp and everything, and everyone's fighting fit and ready, and primed and ready for the biggest battle of their lives.
And then it gets kind of cool.
And then when they're really reaching peak physical condition and mentally prepared for it, everything just gets locked down, and then it's just all you've basically got is everyone separated, all isolated, but extremely fit and ready to do lots of stuff, but they can't do anything, which could be quite an entertaining one.
Yeah, I like it. I'll tell you what mine would be.
What would yours be?
What I watched recently, Jaws.
Jaws, okay.
So it would just be
no
the
shark
shark
attacks.
would be in the water.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't. There'll be everyone's at home, so
they're worrying about other things, but then it just cuts to the shark just sort of swimming around and cuts back to the people.
Or maybe the lockdown happens like just after the first shark attack, so they're aware that there is a shark there, but it doesn't really matter.
It's not an issue for them anymore.
Yeah, not an issue.
Did you watch the original Jaws recently again or something?
Yeah, the first time I saw it was like last week.
That was the first time you'd seen it?
Yeah. Have you seen it?
I saw it when I was quite young. It was terrifying.
I can't believe it's PG.
Yeah, is it PG?
It's a PG, and you see a man get like eaten in half.
How did you find it? Did you find it can you see why?
I didn't, because I obviously, because it's like a...
So dated.
It's a very, like, famous film. You hear a lot about it, and I knew loads of people were, like, afraid of going swimming after seeing it, and it was, like, truly terrifying. Didn't find it scary.
Did you not?
I found it ridiculous.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good film, like I enjoyed it, but some of the stuff, like the shark keeps changing size.
Yeah.
And like, it keeps going from day to night, like all the time.
Yeah.
And I think, I was speaking to someone at work about it, and they were saying that it's because at the time that they filmed it, cameras weren't good enough to really do like filming at really low light.
Yeah.
So all night scenes you'd have to have loads of artificial light.
Yeah.
Or because it's like out at sea, you can't have like street lights or anything.
No.
They just did it at daytime and made it a bit darker, but it's so obviously daytime.
Yeah.
It looked really stupid.
I mean, it's an old film now, like a super old film.
Also, there's a lot of the film is them just on a boat, not really doing anything.
No.
But no, it's good. It's just really silly though. I have lots of laughs.
Do you think it would be much easier to make a feature-length film because the standards, you could say, were arguably... I guess in terms of special effects, the standards just weren't what they are now. But can you imagine if you were to take a film that came out in the last 2 years and you were able to go back in time and release that film... You've directed it, let's say, even though you haven't, but you pretend that you've directed it and everyone's just completely shocked by how good it is. What film do you think you'd take back to say when Jaws came out and be like, here you go, here's a proper film, and just win all the awards? Because everyone's like, what the hell is this?
What year was Jaws though? Like, it was the 60s, was it?
60s, yeah. Pretty sure.
Because like 2001 Space Odyssey came out in 68, and the special effects in that was pretty amazing.
It's because it's all built, isn't it? It's all like actual models, and it's so well detailed.
But maybe I feel like if you just had something that had like was really obviously to things that you couldn't do.
Yeah.
Maybe like Arrival. Have you seen Arrival?
Yeah, I've seen Arrival.
Got like those massive spaceships and like the massive alien things.
And with the viewing portal with the curved corners, that's a good one. I think that or something like Blade Runner, the new one. But you release it at the same time as the first one as a rival, maybe rename it slightly and just go head to head with that one.
That'd be so confusing because it leads on from the other one.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever, the other question for you, has anyone ever made a rival anything that is directly related? I don't even know what this question is.
You mean it leads on?
You're trying to make a better version of something. You're trying to compete with someone, but by doing that you create something that is a direct response to what they've done.
What, you mean carries their story on? So.
Yeah, because that's like a compliment in itself.
Well, that's quite an interesting one because it's like you've taken inspiration from them, but you take their characters and just continue their story, sort of thing.
Yeah, same story. So, well, I guess with Blade Runner, it's not like it's like different main characters, but there's similar themes and similar characters.
Apparently, they built so many of the sets for that new Blade Runner, and that's why it was so. I mean, Becca's a big fan of that new one. Did you guys see it at the cinema?
I don't know. Yeah, we saw it at the IMAX.
Oh, the IMAX.
Yeah, it was amazing. It is amazing. Like the cinematography is just absolutely mental.
You can get some good architecture project ideas out of that film. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Like with the sand. Yeah. The sandy skies or the raining cityscapes with the
the guy like that whole scrapyard kind of area.
Scrapyard thing.
Very good. I bet that was a good film to work on if you were designing those things.
That budget must have been serious for that.
Yeah, I think it was like $100 million, wasn't it?
Did you like Gosling as the main character?
I didn't not like him, but I wasn't especially like blown away. He's quite robotic, but he is also playing a robot.
Yeah. I think other people could have played that role as well, but he did a good job. But it's not like it would have ruined the film if it wasn't him. Because certain films you think that person had to play that role; it was perfect with them.
Yeah. Also, the character's not that interesting that it's like, I was blown. I don't know if anyone else playing that role would have blown me away. I don't know if the character's interesting enough.
I'm going to ask you one final question, Matt.
Go on.
Performing sports indoors, the do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
Anything come to mind? Anything.
Well, while I think about that, can you answer this question?
Go on.
What if you have to compete? No, okay. You're on the Olympic committee.
Yeah.
And obviously, as we know, the Olympics have been cancelled or postponed, but you're heavily financially invested in the Olympics and you need it to happen this year.
Yeah.
So you have to convince people that it's possible to do over Zoom.
Right, okay.
So like all the different competitors call in.
Yeah.
What 3 sports would you choose to demonstrate that it is possible?
To do over Zoom?
Yeah. My immediate thought is like some kind of gymnastics. You know that one where they have like the big hoops?
Yeah.
I think they could do that. You could do that in your house.
And do they do it? Are people? I guess the judges are all connected with Zoom as well. So
they're all calling in.
I'd probably say
it's difficult when it's like you can't really have table tennis or something that relies on somebody returning the shot.
No, you can't have that. So it's got to be an individual sport, really. Yeah. I would assume that the best professional whitewater kayakers might have their own might have their own kayaking man-made rapids in the back of the best ones.
Well, they could make one.
Yeah, they could make one. We give them
Like a
notice.
slip and slide.
Yeah, some sort of slip and slide. But then how do you judge that? Because one guy might have made some really easy rapids to show off on. He gets a really high score. And the other guy is just really out of his depth with the rapids that he's designed. So that would be a good one, I think. Because it just the all whitewater rafting, kayaking. So that would be one.
Do you think you could do like sprinting on a treadmill, but instead of it being who can run 100 meters in the fastest time, it's like who can run the fastest before they fall off.
Yeah, we
like
just keep cranking them up until they.
Yeah,
that'll be good. Especially if the camera is really perfectly lined up with each person, so you get a really good shot of them. Because you'll see them starting to go, won't you? You'll know they're going to go.
yeah. And you see them all side by side as well, like in the Zoom call.
Yeah, they've designed. We've spoken to the engineers at Zoom, and we've figured out like some sort of racing theme backdrop, or I'm sure they already have that. Yeah,
they're all going to be. You could do weightlifting. That's quite boring. Just lifting up household objects.
Yeah, just sort of lifting. When the dads have the kids jump on them, and then they do like exercises. But then that would be hinged on whether if you haven't got kids, how can you sort of manage that? Because someone could just be lifting something else, sort of bags of pasta or something.
I promise it's really heavy. Cool, yeah, sounds good.
Nice one. Well, say hi to Becca for me, and best of luck with all this business we're going through at the moment.
You do. I'll speak to you soon.
I'll speak to you in a bit.
Bye-bye.
See you later.